All right, everyone, get in here, sit down, and shut up. We've got stuff to talk about, and that stuff is Week 7 of the NFL season. Week 6 is over with. We did 8-7 last week. Not awful. A little bit better than the last 2 weeks, I would say, but not as good as the first 3 weeks. We were just crushing it, so hopefully we can get back to doing that. 57-36 on the season. Not as good as I would like it, but I think still pretty good for the most part. The 3 teams let me down: the Eagles, Cowboys, and the Bills. Those teams should be absolutely disappointed in themselves. Terrible. Shame on all 3 of you. The fans of those teams should be very upset because those 3 teams should have beat the 3 teams they played. But I guess it's the NFL. They're all pros any given Sunday and all that fun stuff. But we're moving on. Bye weeks this week. The Bills and the Ravens will not be playing, so we will not be picking their games. But on to the first game. We've got the Steelers heading to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals. Thursday night football. I think this is pretty simple. The Bengals, unfortunately, just a mess. Steelers likely walk in and walk out. Pretty easy game for them, I imagine. Flacco being there could maybe, primetime Flacco, maybe rejuvenating some of his Raven days to take the Steelers down one more time, but I really don't think it's going to happen. I think the Steelers win this one pretty easy. Next up, we have the Rams heading to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. Now, this is probably of all the games the one I had the hardest time picking. There might have been 1 or 2 others, but this one really stuck out because I had a team typed down and then I changed it. So that's the only one I did that on this week. And I am going to take the Jaguars. I do think they beat the Rams. I was thinking about it. Rams lost to the 49ers. Jaguars beat the 49ers. A little bit of NFL math there for you. Jaguars at home. I think whenever it's really close to me, I just kind of like to side with the home team here. So I'm going to take the Jaguars this week. Next up, we have the Panthers heading to New York to take on the Jets, and I'm going to go ahead and predict it. I think the Jets get their first win. Again, 2 bad teams. Jets at home. I think the only games that the Panthers have won have been at home, and they're the away team here. So I think I'll take the Jets to get their first win this season. This is probably a prime spot for them to grab that. Justin Fields, Bryce Young probably will end up just running around the field, and whoever runs for the most yards, I bet that person's team wins. That's my guess, and I just think it's going to be the Jets. Next up, we've got the Raiders heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. After the Chiefs just got done essentially dismantling the Lions, can you not just... they've got to be Super Bowl contenders all over again. I still don't think that they're I think they're just a step below the top teams. I still think the Lions are better. I know it's kind of tough to say when the Lions just lost to the Chiefs, but I still think overall, cards on the table, I think the Lions win most of the games that they would ever play. But this week, I definitely think the Chiefs beat the Raiders. My Miami Dolphins, only mine. I will own them one day, promise. I'll figure it out. Don't at me on that, but I'll figure it out. Anyway, they're going to Cleveland. They're going to take on the Browns, and they're going to lose. That's just how that's going to be. The Browns rookie running back probably going to have a big game, just like every other running back that plays us. We have absolutely zero run defense to speak of. It's tough to pick the Dolphins or the Browns. I don't know if there's 2 teams that have been more just absent of success in the last, 50 years, perhaps. But the Dolphins aren't going to beat the Browns, especially not in Cleveland. Overall, I could perhaps see the Dolphins because these 2 teams are going to battle to see who will suck the most instead of who will actually be better. So I could certainly see the Browns out-sucking the Dolphins, I guess you could say. But I'm still going to take the Browns. Next up, we've got the Patriots heading to Tennessee to take on the Titans. Very simple game. I think the Patriots roll in here. This could be one of the biggest blowouts of the season. The Mike Vrabel getting let go by the Titans, of course. So he could have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. And maybe he's going to pass that on to his players this week and get them fired up. So I would look for, the 911 could be called on that game there. It could be quite the destruction, if you might say. So Patriots win that one quite easily. Saints head to Chicago to take on the Bears. I don't care if the Bears beat the Commanders. It doesn't really matter to me. I still think both teams are bad, but I'll take the Bears at home. I don't pick the Bears to win a lot of football games, but I do think they can beat the Saints. I would like the Saints to win. For some reason, I just don't like the Bears. I feel like the Bears are a team I should like, but they do so many things to just make me not like them for some reason. So I'm going to take the Bears here, though, even though all that said. I think of 2 bad teams that are just slightly better. Another difficult one here that I had to pick, Eagles at Vikings. I want to take the Vikings at home, mostly because, the Eagles seem like they're stumbling here a little bit, but it's just... I don't know. I'm not ready to pull that trigger. I think the Eagles have lost the last 2 weeks. Yeah, they lost to the Broncos and then lost to the Giants. I think they probably get it going here and win this game. I think that's like I don't remember the stat, but if you want, look it up. They've not lost 2 games in a row in a long time. So the fact that they have lost those 2 games makes me feel like they're probably going to turn it around here. Don't get me wrong. I really don't like the Eagles all that much, so I'd much rather see the Vikings win this game. I just think the Eagles are going to win it, though. Colts heading to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. Probably another one that I was really torn against. For some reason, I just cannot. I don't care what the Colts do. I'm just not ready to consider them a good football team. Maybe if I just keep saying it, they'll just continue to win and prove me wrong every week. I don't know. But I am going to take the Chargers here. I just feel like the Chargers at home maybe win this game. I'm not sure why. Just have a hunch. This one, though, I could see me getting it wrong. The Colts seem like they might be legit. And the Chargers, I know, still suffering from quite a few injuries. But I'm still going to take the Chargers here and see what happens. Next, we got the Giants heading to Denver to take on the Broncos. Broncos, they're just a good football team. They are a good football team. I don't know if they're a great football team, but they are a good football team. And I do not think they're going to lose to bad football teams like the Giants. Now, I will say this. Giants look pretty exciting over the last 2 or 3 weeks. But I think the Broncos defense is just pretty much shut down and not going to have anything to worry about with them. That said, hopefully Cam Scatbo runs for another 3 touchdowns because I did win a couple fantasy football games because of that. So I would like that to continue happening. But overall, don't think the Broncos are going to have much problem with the Giants. Next up, we've got the Packers heading to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. You know, I think it feels like I've seen Kyler Murray isn't going to be playing. Marvin Harrison's banged up. Not that matters as much, to whoever the quarterback is. But if Murray's not there, that really takes away the Cardinals rather. Their one chance of being somewhat functional, I think. While I do not think that Kyler Murray is any great quarterback by any stretch, he's definitely going to be better than whoever their backup is. But even if Murray was playing, I'm taking the Packers here. I think the Packers are a pretty solid football team, probably on the same level as like the Chiefs. They're like right below those top teams. But really, honestly, are there any top teams this year? I mean, everybody's got like 2. Is anybody like? Well, I guess the Packers have only got 1 loss, I guess technically, but I mean one of them they got a draw though too. So and they drew to the Cowboys, who just got done losing to the Panthers. Are there any good football teams anymore? I don't really think there are. Packers though are better than the Cardinals. I will say that, and I'll pick the Packers to win. Commanders heading to Dallas to take on the Cowboys. I tell you, this game just doesn't sound the same when it's not Redskins versus Cowboys. I think we can beat Commanders every week of the year except for 2 or maybe 3 if they play in the playoffs. If the Commanders play the Cowboys, can we just call them the Redskins? It just makes so much more sense to me. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to take the Cowboys again against my better judgment. I imagine the Commanders probably win because the Cowboys just, I don't know what the heck is wrong with them. They are like, they should be better than they are. Let's just put it that way. But I'm still taking the Cowboys. I think Cowboys at home just, both teams they're like average, right? They're at best they're average. So I'll just take the home team. Falcons head to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. The Falcons have a good run game. I really think that. And honestly, with the 49ers losing Fred Warner, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough on that defense. However, I don't think the Falcons are a good football team. I think the moment got to them. First, I think it was like first prime time, first Monday Night Football game in like 7 years or something like that, at home against a tough team. I think they just got hyped up and never came off of it. So I feel like that win against the Bills is a fluke. I bet if you run that game 9 more times, the Bills probably win all 9 of them. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that run game is just going to be too much for everyone. Bijan Robinson is an absolute baller. Cannot deny that. However, I'm going to take the 49ers here. I think 49ers will win this game. Just think that they're, front to back, just a solid team. Falcons just I don't know. I don't believe in them. So I'll take the home team here. Go with 49ers. We've got the Buccaneers heading to Detroit to take on the Lions. This one does hurt me. It does, because I picked against the Buccaneers last week, and then they proved me wrong. I even forgot who. Oh, the 49ers. They beat the 49ers, right? First victory formation all year, because like I said, they only play close games, but they finally got one where they weren't really last possession of the game. However, don't like it. I don't like them playing the Lions. I don't care how good the Buccaneers may or may not be. I think the Lions, coming off a loss no less, will probably roll in. Well, they're not even rolling in. It's going to be a home game for the Lions, which doesn't bode well even more for the Buccaneers. So, as much as I like the Buccaneers, as much as I'm rooting for Baker Mayfield to honestly, of all the games and all the teams that I've seen this year, I'd like the Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl more than anybody, just because of Baker Mayfield. But they're not going to win this game. The Lions are going to take this game. I worry that it might not be close. This might be one of the games the Lions, or the Buccaneers rather, don't keep close. So, Lions win this one. And a 10 p.m. Eastern time game, yes, Texans heading to Seattle to take on the Seahawks in the final Monday Night Football game. I will stay up and watch this entire game and probably be absolutely shattered the morning after when I don't get to bed till like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. I don't know, but don't think it's going to be too much of a problem for the Seahawks to beat the Texans. Do not think the Texans are that good of a football team. Do think the Seahawks are probably an above-average football team, and this is probably a prime game that they win. Seahawks, that stadium is always popping. It's going to be, prime time, so it's probably going to be big there for them. But Seahawks probably win this game. I could maybe see the Texans getting lucky, but I just think the Seahawks are built just a bit better, and the Texans they've got a little bit to work on still. So we'll go with the Seahawks there. All right, those are my picks for the week. If I picked your team to win, go ahead and like the video because you definitely agree with me, obviously. If I picked your team to lose, go ahead and comment down below. Tell me what kind of a fool I am. And if I picked your team at all to do anything other than the bye weeks, go ahead and subscribe to the video because that's just the smart thing to do. I do really appreciate you watching. Hope you have a great week. And if you're anybody but a Browns fan, hope your team wins. And you all take it easy.